In the intricate tapestry of global trade, few threads are as vital or as fragile as this one. Spanning just 21 miles at its narrowest point, the Strait of Hormuz is the world's most important oil choke point. Every day, colossal tankers navigate this thin channel, a bustling artery connecting the energy-rich Persian Gulf to the Arabian Sea and the wider world. This narrow passage isn't just a shipping lane, it is the jugular vein of the global energy supply, and its closure would trigger a catastrophic global shockwave. The question is not just whether it could be closed, but what would happen to the world if it were. For Asia's economic powerhouses, the Strait of Hormuz is an indispensable lifeline. Nations like China, Japan, South Korea, and India are profoundly dependent on the steady flow of energy that passes through this strait. Imagine the ports of Shanghai or Tokyo, usually teeming with activity, suddenly starved of the crude oil and liquefied natural gas, LNG, that fuel their economies. Graphics starkly illustrate this dependency, with a significant percentage of their total energy imports, often over 50% for oil and a substantial portion of LNG, transiting Hormuz. The consequences of a blockage would be immediate and severe. Without this energy, factories would grind to a halt, cities would face power shortages, and daily life for hundreds of millions would be disrupted. The resulting energy crisis would not just stall economic growth, it would trigger soaring prices, crippling industries and households alike. Conversely, for the nations bordering the Persian Gulf, a closure of the strait would mean economic strangulation. Countries like Qatar, the world's largest LNG exporter, along with major oil producers such as Iraq, Kuwait, Bahrain, and significant portions of Saudi Arabia's and the UAE's exports, rely almost exclusively on this route to reach global markets. For them, the strait is the only viable gateway for their most precious resource. Without it, their vast oil fields and sophisticated gas terminals would be effectively landlocked, cutting them off from their primary source of national revenue. The financial impact would be devastating. Government budgets, heavily reliant on hydrocarbon sales, would collapse, jeopardizing public services, infrastructure projects, and social stability. It would be a swift and brutal descent into economic isolation. The disruption would not be contained within the region. It would ripple outwards, shaking the foundations of the entire global economy. Stock market tickers across New York, London, and Tokyo would flash red as volatility skyrockets. The price of crude oil could double or even triple within days, unleashing a wave of inflation on a global scale. At gas stations from California to Berlin, prices would soar, placing an immense burden on consumers and paralyzing transportation networks. Industries worldwide, from manufacturing and agriculture to aviation, would face crippling energy costs, leading to production cuts, supply chain breakdowns, and widespread job losses. The interconnected nature of our global economy means no country would be immune to the fallout. Beyond the immediate economic chaos lies a far more dangerous scenario: geopolitical fallout. The closure of the Strait of Hormuz would be seen as an act of economic warfare, inevitably triggering a swift and forceful international response. Naval fleets would converge on the region, escalating tensions to a knife's edge. Diplomatic channels would be strained to their breaking point as nations scramble to secure their energy interests, potentially igniting new conflicts or escalating existing ones. The world would be thrown into a desperate race for alternative energy sources and routes, a competition that could redraw geopolitical alliances and create new fault lines. The fragility of this single choke point underscores a terrifying reality. Its closure would not just disrupt markets, it could plunge the world into a new era of instability and conflict.